Okay, so now we are working on page 23, and I have pulled out all my larger chunks so that I can try and use these up. Alright, so everything else I have is pretty much a whole sheet of paper, if not a whole sheet of paper. So, or I have tinier pieces that aren't going to work for anything. So this is it. And of course, you know, I've got the double sides. So I'm going to try and pull something together out of this. And I have some, the larger black sheets that I have. And you notice they're not the same colors, but there's so little of it that shows that it hasn't made a big difference in the book, because I've just been using my black scraps from different projects, and they're even different thicknesses. So the only time I'm worried about it is if I'm using a lot of the same black on the same page where they're laying right next to each other. I'm sometimes worrying about it. It just, you know. Anyway, so this is 4 3/4, and of course by the 8 1/2. So I'm going to put this off to the side. And I think, let's see, where'd my ruler go? I just had it. Just had it. There it is. Let me see. So I could use this. I don't think the rest of these are long enough, but I could use this or this. Of course, you see that they're the same. Is this 8 1/2? Alright, so this has got this strip across the top here, which actually looks really kind of cute. So I think I'm gonna use this. This is part of the, you know, the strip. And it doesn't go all the way across on this side, but I think I'm going to end up cutting some of it off anyway. And I really like where it looks like it's an element for the paper. So, let's see here. Put this ruler back up. So I'm going to cut my base page. And let me see. I need it to be, okay, so it's going to work for that side, and then this is 4 3/4, and I want it to actually be a little smaller than that. Let me do it the way I've been doing it, just like this. So top and bottom, I'm very happy with that. Now I'm going to flip this and do it this way because I want to line it up. And then put a mark. Pull it down just a little bit so that I put a mark right where the paper goes. There we go. Now I can get that cut off and we'll start working on the base page. Yep. There we go. Oh, that's just stinking cute. Let me double check. Yep. There we go. Okay, and I love that. It looks like it's an element on the page. Okay, so this is the main part, and I want to, this is going to be around in black. Where are the black pieces I've got here? I'm thinking that what I'm going to do is kind of make a flap here and a flap here, and use some of these and make a, you know, a little folder, like a, you know, where you use these and wrap the string around. Can't think for the life of me what that's called. this is really not going to make it work though. Huh. Well, if I did this down both sides, let's see, if I did this down both sides, how much room does that take? That takes a 1/2 inch. And this is 4 3/4. So it'd be it would be 3 7/8. And you'd have to cut your picture down too far. If I only did it on one side, it would be 4 1/4. And you'd still be able to get a picture. And then you'd have that there. Do I want to do that? I don't know, but I do need this to be a size that I can put a whole picture on. So I don't think this piece is going to work for me. And these are too thin. So I don't think I have another piece. Oh, yes I do. Yay! Yes I do. I'll have to cut it down, but that's fine. Okay, because I want this to be 6 1/4. And it'll be it's going to be the same width as this. So I'm just going to line this up and make the mark. Oops, let's line it up like that. So make the mark right where where I would cut it. And then, so whatever that is, 4 and whatever, by 6 1/4. Okay, so there'll be a little bit of extra. It's going to be that big. So there'll be a little bit of a border so that you'll be able to see some of the decorative paper. But yet it's going to be 6 1/4, so there'll be 1/8 of an inch on the top and the bottom. So let's make it 6 1/2. So not 6 1/4, 6 1/2. So there's a little bit more even on the sides and the front. 6 1/2, but then I need a 1/2 inch strip down here. So we're going to so plus a 1/2 inch is going to be 7. So right here. So we need 7. All right, can you see that? Yeah, and this is, let's see, to the mark, it is 4 5/8. That's what mine is. Yours might be a little bit different. Okay, so so that will be the flap coming from the bottom. And then I will need a flap coming from the top. And let me go ahead and get this cut so I see what I'm looking for. So let me cut my sides. There we go. Oopsie. Oh boy, was I off on that. I don't know what just happened. You start down here. There we go. Make sure that's straight. And let's see, what have I got it on? Where is my... Well, that is not where I wanted it. So let's try this again. I've got another one. I'm going to cut it. Put a mark right where I'm going to cut it. I want it to match this. And maybe a titch bigger than this and not smaller, and that's where I went wrong. That, and I didn't make sure that my paper was all the way down here straight. It was crooked. That's how I ended up with a crooked cut. Half the time it's user error. Half the time. Okay. Alright, so there we go. Let's see. Yes, it's going to hang over both edges just ever so slightly. So that's exactly what I wanted. And now I'm going to make this 7 inches. Okay, so there's going to be a 1/2 inch hanging over. So this will give me, let's see, I can actually use this paper. Give me a 1/2 inch there, and I think that'll overlap nicely. So let's see what this is. This is 4 5/8. Oh no, it's about 4 3/8 this way. So a 1/2 inch is going to be the flap to go under. Let me mark. Put this and kind of run that. Just make sure I'm getting my mark right where I want it. Okay. So I'm going to put this right on the line. Oops. There we go. Okay, so each one of these needs a 1/2 inch. Let me put all this black out of the way now. Okay, so this side needs a 1/2 inch. So on the 4 1/2 side, I put a 1/2 inch in, and on the 7 inch side, we're gonna put a score at the 1/2 inch. I'm gonna fold these. Let's always fold towards the mountains. Okay. And then we're going to put this on the top. And this will be on the bottom. Okay. And that's how it's going to be, and that will flip up. You can put a picture here, and this will flip down, and that'll put a picture here and here, and then you'll have a picture here. Okay, I think I'm going to cut, I'm going to figure out which papers. Now, let's see, I don't think any of these are going to work, honestly, for any of them. Unless I use a border. So I can definitely use the stripes, either on the outside or on the inside. I can put this stripe up at the top or down at the bottom. Okay, what else do I have? Now, this is the only other one I have that's cut into. Everything else are full sheets, except for what I'm using on the back for the 25th. So that is all she wrote. I have 1, 2, 3, I have four pages here. This one, this one, this one, and this one. So those are the ones that haven't been used yet. And if I can keep from, I know I want this one on the 24th because it's very neutral and I can really bulk it up for the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas kind of picture. You know, maybe going midnight mass, or you know, what the tree looked like before, or how you set up for Santa Claus. You know, that one picture the night before Christmas. So anyway, so I know I'm going to be cutting into this one some, so I can try and go ahead and use this, and then I may have 3 pages not used, which I can still find other uses for them. But if I'm just gonna, I've got enough papers, I think, that maybe I won't have to cut into those. Okay, so let's see what we can do with these and put these little pieces back, because they're just not going to work for me for this. All right, where's my other piece? Here we go. And I got to keep in mind what I'm going to use here. So, okay, let's see. This is my base. Do I want, yeah, that would be kind of interesting to have there. Have some black in between. So let me mark this so I can get it cut. There and there. Okay, so that one's ready for cutting. That's the inside. So I've got the bold stripe there. I could do the bold stripe up here, or I could do this. Let's see. I've got the bold stripe here. Would I want that? It's on the other side. Now see, now I've used a lot of this, both pieces on the page prior to this, so I don't know if I want to use that or not. So I can totally do some of this on the inside. I don't think I want it on the outside because it's going to be on the page next to it. Ha! Okay, so I guess I am going to have to use, and actually I think here I am going to do this, and I think I'm going to use this Christmas cottage because I think this will totally work. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that on there and get this set up where I want to cut it. Here and here. Okay, so this is Christmas Cottage Snowflake. Okay, so now I know what I'm doing with these two. Now I think I've got this way, or no, I've got this way. I'm definitely going to have enough. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this out because I think I'm going to do this top piece with this, and then I think the bottom piece, I don't think, you know, these are all just going to be really far off. Now I suppose I could make a little side pocket. No? Huh. Let's see. Just long enough. Well, kinda, sorta, that would be... That would definitely, I think, work. And that would bring some of that last bit of that wood paper I have. I could even make more of it. Make the wood paper and then just use a little bit of a red. Okay. How do we like that? Huh. And what was this outside going to be? It's going to be this. Maybe. Well. What about, I can also put this here. And if I use that, I will definitely have enough. If I kind of keep that as like part of an element, which is what I'm doing. Or I can just use this. I can kind of line it up where I'm using it right where the ends are somewhere, and I can put this on the top, and that would shorten everything down where I wouldn't be needing to use this. Maybe that's what I'll do for that, because there is plenty of overlap. Plenty of overlap. There's that. See, and there is how much. Let me put this piece over here. This is how much you're getting overlapped. I was just thinking of size of picture, but I think I definitely will use this side for the flap. And let's see. And if I kind of center it, because I don't want to be just having a bunch of cut off things, then is this side going to be long enough? Yes, to do this flap with the wood. And then just add some kind of strip with it. Maybe a strip of this. Okay, well, let me get everything cut and I'll show you. You kind of make your decision on what you do, and I'll show you what I end up with. Alright, got all the pieces and parts. Still got a bit of cutting to do, but I wanted to show you where we were so I didn't lose you. Okay, so I've cut this. I've also am going to have this on this side, and I believe, yeah, so we'll be fine with that. So again, on this, what you do is you line it up where you're going to have it. You make sure it's nice and centered. You just flip it over and cut it off. Do the same thing on this side. Make sure it's still. And if you want it to have the edge like, you know, everything else is going to have, and you're just going to make a mark. I'm just going to take off just a 1/16 of an inch off both sides so that you have a black edge. But at least now you know where to cut. I'm just going to take a smidge off of each side. Just going to flip this over. Okay. And that okay. And now I have an edging all the way around. Okay? So that's how you're going to do that. Then this was the piece I had left over from this. And it's not large enough to do like a 1/2 inch on each side, because I'm going to make this into a side pocket. So I've got this little strip, so I'm going to use that to help me. But let me get, let's see, I want to see if I'm going to put this where I'm going to want this to be as far as this size, this, you know, this is where I'm going to want this to be. And I'm going to make a mark right at the edge of the paper, which means I'm still going to want to come in a little bit because I want to have an edging of black. So then when I put this, it is just shy of 3/8 of an inch. And so I'm going to go ahead and run right on the 3/8 of an inch. There we go. And I'm going to fold that over and burnish it down. And we'll see how this is going to be. Very nice. Okay, so that's great. That goes on the inside. Okay, so what I'm going to do on this side then is I'm going to put this, I'm going to line it up with this piece here, and I'm going to mark it where it ends, where this piece ends on this side. And I'm just going to cut right on that mark. And then I'm also going to cut this at 1 inch. I'll line it up at 1 inch, drop this, hold it down, and cut. And now I'm going to score this. So basically what I am doing here is I'm making myself, oops, I'm making myself a flip at this end. Flap, flip, flip, flap. I'm making this over here so that then I have the ability to utilize this whole space for a tag or booklet or whatever I want to use, okay? So I'm going to actually trim both ends in just a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and put some glue and let it start to be drying. Right here. Okay, and while I'm thinking about it, because I've got quite a bit of the paper figured out, I think there's just one piece left, but if I don't do this now, I'm liable. Let me trim this down just a little snitch off both sides, and you want to make those black as well. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna get the rest of this done and I'll be right back. Okay, so the final cut I have to make is I'm wanting this to line up and go inside this pocket. So I'll cut it right there. There we go. Give this a little, sorry, if I put it over my desk, all my little black things, I'm trying to make this thing last until I finish with this book, and then I'm going to throw it away. But if I do it over my desk, I end up with all these little black smushy things, and they get all over my papers, but that's the frugal part of me. I hate to throw it away. Okay, so we have got everything. We are ready to assemble. I'm going to start with my black sheets. I'm going to assemble. Let me pull this. Sometimes if these get where they're not pouring very well, you just want to open it up a little differently. Maybe not, it's not open enough, or sometimes it's open too much and almost starts to close up again. Okay. And actually, because this is going to go on the bottom, I am going to trim it off just a little bit. We're just going to make sure I am even. And I don't want to get all the way into the score line. But I do want to make sure that I'm covering the paper up all the way on both sides. Okay. There we go. That one's done. And we'll get this one on. And I see right here that I'm going to get that pencil mark out of where there might not be any paper covering it. There we go. I don't think it would be, you know, anybody would be able to look at it and say, oh my gosh, is that a pencil mark? No, that would just not happen. Okay, make sure we're sticking it all on the correct side. Again, line it up, fold it over, make sure we are covering everything up. And there we go. Put it back over, give it a little burnish, spread that glue around in there. Good job. Good job, people. Wah! Okay, it's getting late again. It seems like I only get to work on this stuff early in the morning or late at night, so you guys kind of don't get the best of me. You get, you know, kind of somewhere in between. Okay, so I am now going to glue on the top. Then I'm going to poke the hole and pick a brad. So let's just get this one glued down. Remember to make sure that you have done your corners. Your edges with your, if you're doing any distress inks or any kind of inks where you're just covering your, you don't have to just have distress inks to do that. Any ink will do that. So if you don't have distress inks, just go, oh, I can't do that. Well, you can. Any ink will work. Okay, one of the big things is make sure that you are lining your point. Let me put this here. Lining the point up together so that you're getting that centered, because that's going to be the biggest thing that's going to, scream at somebody, oh, well, they didn't line that very well. Okay. Get that all down there really well. Now, let's see. I think I like this one. Or this red one, or the green one. Although I'm not doing much with green. The red one is kind of nice. Or this polka dot is kind of nice. This is the red I'm using though. Huh. Of course, up here I could do a smaller one because I'm actually only going to be tying the rope to the one up here. Down here, where it's going to be on the brown, is where, you're going to have this combination. And I might have to cut this down just a little bit more. Because that is, yeah, that's fitting there. But this will be here. So I could put a smaller one up here. Put this red with the metal. Maybe this one with the musical note I'll put up. Put this one here, down here, and they can, wow, I don't know. I don't know. Well, well, well. think maybe I'll put the clear one up here. Right underneath the 18. And I'm going to put maybe this brown one and this little piece of paper here. Okay, so let's get one of these clear ones and see how we would do with this. Get my paper piercer. We're basically gonna go make sure your finger's not on the other side of this, because it will get you. It will get you. And you will not be a happy camper. And you'll say bad words. Come on, get in there. Go all the way through, it's just not large enough. Just put it in there a little bit further. Make that hole a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, now, where to put my twine? Where to put my twine? This, don't like this. Yes, here we go. This is a thicker thread, and I am going to tie before I really tighten it down. A knot. There we go. Open these puppies up and bend them down so they're nice and flat. And now we can put this paper down. Okay. Oh, isn't it lovely? Isn't it lovely? Okay. Yeah, I kind of like that I've got that coming up the same, and you can write on this. Okay. And then I'm going to cut myself a nice long piece. Okay, and then, let's see, I'm going to figure out on here where I'm going to glue this. And I want, yeah, I think I'm going to do this piece. And just in case you guys can't see what all this includes, I'm going to pull it off for you, because it has this paper on it. And I think that's fancying it up a bit. I don't know. I could be wrong. But oops. Okay. But I think I kind of like that. It's going to basically be in the center of the page, but not necessarily the center of the pocket. Okay, so I am Put that right about there. So it's going to go through the pocket, but I'm going to glue this down. And I am going to get enough glue on here that I'm going to pull it so that each one of those little ends is going to have glue on it, and it's going to get glued down because I don't want the string to be catching on that glue. Again, I'm going to go right there. Make sure each one of those is down. And then I have the little center where it came through. Poke a hole. Flip it through. Now I'm going to flatten this down again. I'm going to get a piece of tape and I'm going to glue it on the top part because I want that part to make sure it's not going to come off. And then I'm going to tape the bottom, you know, just leave it on tape because the bottom part's not going to. And just make sure that glue is dispersed along there so that it will dry nicely. Okay. And I'm getting dirty fingers. Keep an eye on those. Getting dirty fingers. I tell you, I am not good at working with white. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm not even good with white clothes. It's a fact. Okay, now I'm going to glue down this pocket, and this time I'm not going to forget to glue down this part. So yeah, we want to go ahead and put our pocket down, and we're going to actually close up our pocket so things won't fall out the bottom of it. Isn't that wonderful? What a novel idea. Okay. So we're just going to leave ourselves just a little border around. Make sure we're nice and straight. Okay. So this is going to be able to hold a nice size mat or a booklet where you can actually get several pictures in. You know, I've been trying to get the biggest bang for our buck on every page. And I know this is, you know, this is giving you a good idea of all different kinds of pages you can use. Now, if you want to, you can pick 1 or 2 or 3 and make multiples of that same page. You might have to make them different sizes because of the way the binding system is, the way I've done the stack of the deck. But you've got a lot of different ideas to use for this album. And I am going to cut this down just a little bit because it's just a titch too tight. And I don't want to have to work really hard. Get my edge done again. I don't want to have to work really hard at getting that in there. There. That's much easier, much nicer, and it's going to look great. Okay. And another thing is, you don't have to put glue down on the side you're sticking in. You want to get the part that's going to stick outside of the pocket, you want glue to go on that. The rest of it is going to stay down where it's at. and nothing's going to pick it up. So there's really no sense in putting glue down there, and all it's going to do is going to limit how much time you're going to have and fight you on, you know, if you have to put glue down there. Because this bottom part here, there's nothing that's going to make that come up or be, you know, hooked on something. Nothing. That's it. So just gluing the part that's going to stick out is all you need to do. Okay, so there's that, a nice pocket, and here is this, and it's going to go underneath. Just pull on this just a little bit, and this will go right underneath there and wrap around. And this is pretty thin string, so I'm going to add some kind of little bongle. It is late. So there's that. And then all we've got is to line this one and stick it in our album, and we are going to be good to go. And that's it. So guys, I want to say thank you for joining me. We have got 2 more days together, 2 more days to do on this book. And I've been trying to post these just as fast as I can. But for all of you that are following me, thank you so much. Please give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this series, and that will, you know, that kind of lets YouTube know that you're really enjoying what I'm doing, and it lets me know that you are enjoying what I'm doing. And also, if you like these, you know, subscribe to my channel, and then you will always know, because it'll let you know. You can hit the little bell. If you hit subscribe, and then you hit subscribe, it'll come up with a little bell. If you hit the little bell, that means you will be alarmed, or it will send you a little chit-a-ding. Lisa's put in another video. So then it will let you know that I've posted a new video, so you'll never miss one again. So there we go, guys. I'm going to leave this long until I figure out what I'm going to attach to it. Fun, and that's just going to go right here. So super, super fun and cool, and I love it. All right, next one is 24. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Okay, guys, bye.